Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 138 of Be With Me. We are in the book of Acts, and we have a lot of action to cover today. So if you like a good romping story, today's the day. And I'm going to title today, Align Your Zeal with Reveal. That is, Paul is going to try to bend the zeal of people that literally were beating him to death a few minutes ago, and align that zeal, that zealousness for God, with the way that he has revealed himself. So this is after a group of people, a mob, was beating Paul to death. Roman soldiers intervened, and it was a cohort of people. It was 1,000 soldiers at least available, with a couple of centurions, plural centurions. So we know it was a couple hundred, if not 1,000 soldiers that intervened. They break up Paul from the group. They arrest Paul. But before they know what's going on, they just have to ask him a couple questions. So here we're going to start. This is in Acts chapter 21, verse 37. As Paul was about to be brought into the barracks, he said to the tribune, that tribune's the person that's in charge of the 1,000 soldiers, "May I say something to you?" And he said, "Do you know Greek? Are you not the Egyptian then who recently stirred up a revolt and the 4,000 men of the assassins out into the wilderness?" So the Roman guy misinterprets Paul as being an Egyptian. Paul replied, "I am a Jew from Tarsus in Cilicia, a citizen of no obscure city." Of note, he does not pull the Roman citizen card here. He just says, "I'm a citizen of a big city. I beg you, permit me to speak to the people." And when he had given him permission, Paul, standing on the steps, motioned with his hand to the people. And when there was a great hush, he addressed them in the Hebrew language, important here, Hebrew language, saying, now this is chapter 22, "Brothers and fathers, hear the defense that I now make before you." And when they heard that he was addressing them in the Hebrew language, he became even more quiet. All right, so let's talk about the mob for a second and just pause here. Mob is where there's non-specific violence, inaccurate violence, and they're seeking to kill Paul. The irony is that the Roman Empire, who are always the bad guys, without them, he'd already be dead, and he wouldn't have the chance to make the speech that he's going to make. I wonder if Paul was terrified or if he really knew, hey, I must go to Rome, and this is just a part of it, and they're not going to kill me with this. Of interest, they don't know that he's a Jew, because when he speaks in Hebrew, they are kind of stunned. They think that he is a Gentile, a temple violator, and a teacher against the law of the Jews. And when they find out that he is a Jew and speaks Hebrew, it's like a bomb drop. And he calls them, then the second bomb drop, he calls them brothers and fathers. So he goes from being, we're going to kill this guy, to being, hey, you are of my tongue, you are of my language, you are of my people, you are of my family, you are of my tribe. And I think for the people that were just a few minutes ago trying to kill him, they must have thought, what have I done? I almost killed one of my Jewish brothers. Now, to their credit, Paul's been gone a long time. This missionary journey took 5 or 6 years. So he's been gone for 5 or 6 years solid. And of the last 12 years, he's been out of Israel for maybe 9 or 10 of those years. And many of the years that he's been home, he's been up in Antioch, which is kind of the center of the world's church for this time. And I was thinking about the guys who were beating him to death, and they would go home that day, and the wife would say, "Hey, how was your day?" He said, "Well, I beat a guy to death, and how was your day?" In other words, what would cause a guy to do that? And it's this zealousness for God. Now, Paul is going to say, let's get this zealousness right. And he does that by introducing himself. So here goes Paul fixing this problem. He says, "I'm a Jew." This is verse 3. "Born in Tarsus in Cilicia, brought up in this city," that is Jerusalem, "educated at the feet of Gamaliel, according to the strict manner of the law of our fathers." And then pay attention to this, "being zealous for God as all of you are on this day." So this is what he's doing. He's saying, I agree with you Let's be zealous for God, but let's turn it to the right way. Verse 4, I persecuted this way to death, binding and delivering to prison both men and women, as the high priest and the whole council of elders can bear me witness. From them I received letters to the brothers, and I journeyed toward Damascus to take those who were there and bring them in bonds to Jerusalem to be punished. As I was on my way and drew near Damascus, about noon, a great light from heaven suddenly shone around me. And I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And I answered, Who are you, Lord? And he said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting. Now those who were with me saw the light, but did not understand the voice of the one who was speaking to me. And I said, What shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said to me, Rise, go into Damascus, and there you will be told all that is appointed for you to do. And since I could not see because of the brightness of the light, I was led by the hand by those who were with me and came into Damascus. And one Ananias, a devout man, according to the law, well spoken of all the Jews who lived there, came to me, and standing by me said to me, Brother Saul, receive your sight. And at that very hour I received my sight and saw him. And he said, The God of your fathers appointed you to know his will, to see his righteous one, that is Jesus, and to hear a voice from his mouth. For you will be a witness for him to everyone of what you have seen and heard. And now, why do you wait? Rise and be baptized and wash away your sins, calling on his name. All right, I'm going to stop there. We get a couple more details about Paul's conversion story. Number one, Ananias comes, and the Paul summary is, you will be a witness for him to everyone of what you have seen and heard. Well, that's not exactly what he said when he's quoted in Acts, I think it's 9. He says three things. He says, you're going to be my witness to the Gentiles, to kings, and to the children of Israel. And we see that coming true right at this very second as he's witnessing back to the Jews in Jerusalem. And then I just love this in verse 16 is, why do you wait? That is, obey what you know. Paul, you've been a Christian now for 3 days. The Lord has apparently told you to believe, which he's done, and be baptized, which he hasn't done. And he needs to do that and sort of get busy. So maybe it's to believe. Today is your day to believe, or to say, I'm sorry, or I'll be baptized, or I serve, or I want to join a church. So let's align our zeal with the reveal. What the Lord reveals to us, let's do. Why do we wait? Thanks.